All right, for more on this, we're joined by Contralesa chairperson and Chief Mwelo Nonkonyana. Very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, KZN Nonkonyana. Let's first start with the elective Congress or conference itself, the importance thereof, particularly within the traditional leadership of South Africa. KZN Nonkonyana, this is Tshepiso here on the Globe. I'm not sure if you can hear us, but I was asking if you could just start by telling us about the importance of the elective Congress, particularly for the traditional leadership in South Africa.
I can hear you now.
Did you hear the question, or should I repeat it?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, KZN Nonkonyana.
No, I didn't hear.
Okay, so we're asking about the importance of the elective Congress.
Well, the elective Congress is very, very important. Our constitution dictates that from time to time, our leadership should account to those that elected them, and to give the delegates the right to re-elect or elect new leadership. So it is very, very important. Again, very, very important in the sense that commissions must actually discuss certain critical issues that are relevant to that organization. And naturally, it is key so that we can give marching orders to the new leadership for the years to come.
And I guess it's an opportunity for you to discuss some issues that you consider of great importance, one of which has been the safety of traditional leaders. I believe you've asked the President to look into the issue of commission of inquiry into the killings of traditional leaders. Just give us a sense of just how dire are the circumstances.
Oh, it is dire. As you may know, our first president, Nkosi Mhlabonzima Mapumlo, was assassinated some years ago in KwaZulu-Natal. And again, our colleagues, Amakosi, senior traditional leaders, have been assassinated. And also, Izinduna there have been assassinated. And we regard this matter as very, very serious. It is a matter that needed to be arrested. It is a matter that we need to inquire what is the causes of these killings, with a view that this should stop, because the killing of any member of royalty, it actually causes lots of harm and stress to the communities, because those communities are not going to progress well when they have spilled the blood of royalty. Hence, it is our duty as Contralesa to harangue our government to establish a commission of inquiry, and so that those that are actually involved in killing of our traditional leaders are actually arrested. Because Nkosi Mlaba, for instance, was assassinated recently. He was one of the our national treasurer some years ago. It is really a matter that is very, very serious, because killing of a human being is something that should not actually happen.
It's beyond the killing of a human being, isn't it? Because I understand that a great number of those killings have occurred in KwaZulu-Natal. Do you believe there's a particular reason? And if you could share with us a conversation that you're having amongst yourself as Amakosi about if there's a deeper spiritual meaning or reason behind the killing of Amakosi.
Well, as you know, in KwaZulu-Natal, there has been some killings involving even politicians, as in councillors, and there was a commission of inquiry that was set to inquire into what is the causes of that. I think, if my memory serves well, Advocate Morane's commission was established. Again, here, we don't want to guess, and we would like to have a commission of inquiry and because we regard this matter as very, very serious, with a view to really understand why this has been happening. Because more than above that, which is a worrisome, is that many people have not been arrested. I started the issue of our first president, for instance. And this is really a matter that we feel that we must request our government, because they've got capacity to investigate and to establish, and our communities to come forward with the relevant information so that we can really find the causes of such killings with a view to address them.
You will share with me, as much as I hear you say you don't want to speculate, but President Cyril Ramaphosa raised the issue earlier on in the year of concern around disputes within royal kingdoms and how they have led to the destabilization of the kingdoms and communities. And I just want to look at the exact number that he mentioned, but I think he said at that point earlier on in the year, or it was a few weeks ago, that there were 26 issues which included traditional leaders which were removed from their positions without cause. Is there a sense that there's convergence between the destabilization, the contestation for legitimacy and the power ascendancy, and all the killings?
Well, we cannot exclude that, but again, we don't want to jump to a conclusion without any proper investigation. Yes, there's some contestation. In fact, contestation is the name of the game in any institution of traditional leaders, but it does not beget killing. And it is really foreign for the members of the royal family to contest the position. It is their democratic right, we believe. But for them, for any one of them to be assassinated in the course is something that we cannot really tolerate. And we're of the view, therefore, that we must investigate those things. In other words, it may be one of those things that are there. Hence, we were of the view that royal families must be intact, and our government must really realize and recognize royal families. And once the royal family has taken a decision, that decision must be implemented by the government.
The president also saying at some point that we need to relook or delve deeper into our customs and customary laws on the issue of ascension or succession and how we observe them. As a legal man yourself, do you believe that there are gaps, loopholes that are causing these tensions, or has the pursuit of power led people to just ignore these protocols?
I can't get you clearly.
The president raising concerns about either the lack of observance or the ignorance of our customs and customary laws on the issue of succession. And I'm saying, as a legal mind yourself, does this resonate with you, or is the pursuit of power, greed, leading people to ignore the protocols that are in place?
There is that element, but I can tell you that our people, they understand their own tradition, culture, and custom clearly. And but what is sometimes coming into play here, you find that politics, in other words, the custom, the culture of the people is the determining factor. We've got the constitution of the country now that introducing certain other things. Hence, you find that even the Constitutional Court has actually pronounced that certain other, for instance, the question of equality, you find that Mujaji, for instance, there is a queen, but you find that even many others, it is a male, is a male person. And you find that there are those debates. Those debates are caused by the Constitution. And we are of the view, therefore, that these values and principles that are foreign in Africa, must be revisited. Hence, Contralesa has been saying, let us therefore revisit the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and also bestow powers and functions to the institution of traditional leadership. Let government not interfere. I'm not suggesting that it has interfered, but it can only intervene if legal prescripts have not been followed. And so we are of the view, therefore, then that yes, there is that element of greed, but within the institution of traditional leaders, we do have procedures that are there in place to enhance unity.
Having said that, Chief Nonkonyana, fair enough, but there's also the fact that the president has mentioned that to date there are 826 traditional councils that are either now defunct or run down. And some of these preside over land. And I hear you say that some of these debates, which you deem unnecessary or harmful, are as a result of the Constitution. But there are people who believe that they have evolved beyond the realm of traditional leadership and deem them no longer relevant. What happens to those people who are of the opinion? And as I mentioned, the issue that there are traditional councils who are defunct or are run down, who preside over land parcels, which in turn affect people adversely.
Well, Madam, thanks for raising this question. You know, that is fundamental. Many people regard traditional leaders as some entity that is not part of the people. Let me tell you, we're talking about the institution of traditional leadership. It starts from the grassroots level, the head of the family in Duna, and a traditional leader in charge of the traditional communities. And Imbizo, that is Dibizo in the country, are the parliament. And the authority of a traditional leader is a traditional leader in council, and the king or the queen is a queen in council. And when that is why Amazulu are saying umlomo wenkosi awuqambe imanga. It is precisely because in terms of our system, we have in place those meetings, and that our decisions are actually taken not in terms of the majority, which is Allah West, but in terms of consensus within the communities. Even if the minority are not for a particular position, no traditional leader would allow that that minority must be ignored. Hence, we have been sustaining. The problem is that there is a system which is foreign in Africa that has been introduced. Hence, we have got a problem. We have got challenges in South Africa because the system of governance here is foreign. And yet the one that is really a la Africa is actually put in the sideline. We're talking about municipalities, they're giving millions. The traditional councils, they're not giving any cent in the majority of provinces in this country. Our councillors in the traditional council are not giving any cent, but the councillors in the municipal councils are given money. There's a lot of money that is being provided. But the only system is the system that is foreign in this country. Hence, we have got a problem. We're of the view that there will not be any stability in this country until the institution of traditional leadership is recognized. Hence, we agreed that there will be a cooperative system of government. There's the Allah West for urban areas, for traditional communities, that of African system of government. And we're talking about, of course, the issue, even the traditional courts, they're not there. The bill is lying in Parliament for years. Yet, if there is any law that must be passed, which is pro this Western system, it will be passed soon. That's the problem. We're engaging the government. Hence, and the president to us today indicated, no, he has established an inter-ministerial commission with seriousness this time around, with a view to address these legitimate concerns. And we're very happy about that because our government is our government. We like government to succeed. But we will never agree that the institution of traditional leadership should be relegated to the position in which it is today. And our land is the land of our forebears. The 13% is no, we're not compromising. We want the 87% that is in the foreign land. It must come back to our traditional communities so that they could be developed. Hence, this undermining of whatever we're saying. They say, well, we're not democratic, we're everything. I don't think that people understand us.
All right. We thank you for your time and sharing with us insights from the elective Congress of the traditional leaders Contralesa taking place, and that was the Eastern Cape chairperson of Contralesa, Chief Mwelo Nonkonyana.